Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken, we just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question less, and I've said it before time after time.
Welcome
I'm the spitting
to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and
rhyme.
After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Felis Mengus, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, F.E. Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Mere in the Shire, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, J Mel's 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links to Patreon are below this video. And with that, I'll hand across to whoever's in the Flipside Discord server and G+, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Does everybody understand that?
Of course.
Right,
Well,
and that's what we got from Brian.
Yeah, because he holds to all the global bullshit that they're going to throw at him. I don't care. They're going to throw at me. Well, they're going to say that it counteracts gravity. Well, let them say what they want.
Yeah, gravity doesn't exist. Yeah. We just inform the listeners that gravity doesn't exist. Show the citation against it from Albert Einstein. Sorry, Sir Isaac Newton, who disagreed with the mass attracting mass theory, and then Albert Einstein's bending and warping of the space-time fabric is a fucking word salad shit. Pseudoscience dogma, that's all it is. And then you say to the listeners, you prove it. Prove gravity right now. Dropping your pencil. How does that bend the warping of space-time? Silliness.
I don't want to hear what.
Hence the horizontal constant.
Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. I said, hey, I don't care what you say. When a plane levels off at 30,000 feet, it's measuring 30,000 feet through the altimeter, through the air pressure. How are they getting that measurement? It has to be coming from a flat plane. It can't be coming from a globed Earth.
Yeah, yeah. And you know that it's showing when the plane is taking off because there's a difference in the curve of the arc on that graph. It goes up, you can see a sharp upwards, then it reaches an altitude, and then it levels off of time, and then it starts to drop down in a step down fashion because you can't have a plane nosedive down because it's very uncomfortable for the passengers. So you have to come down very gently, and that's what it does, and comes down bum first. The graph shows all that, shows those things happening. I tell you, man, the guy got it all wrong. And I said to him, I'm not changing my position. And I said that live on Nathan's show, that my position is not changing from that, right? It's definitely not. It shows that the aeroplanes are flying horizontal. You know, when they brought this video out, anyway, it's called Boltard's Flatline, episode 128. The day they brought that out, I took it, and I went to Earth Awakenings, okay? And I went to the 24/7. And I said to them, I don't want to hear any of you guys losing a battle when it comes to debating the aviation and how it proves flat Earth, because here's the video you need to use now. Here it is, okay? Black box data, okay? And then they were quiet in there. So I had to say it again. It goes, what? Did you not hear what I said? Right? People have worked hard to get this information out to us. This is privileged information now. Here it is. Please use it. I don't want to hear anyone losing any debates on this. And I've been pushing it ever since, ramming it up every fucking glober's ass, down their throats. I've had like 2 hours discussions over it, and they lost every time. Yeah, it hurt them hard, that one last year, June, roughly. I loved it. So yeah, You just gotta stand your ground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Neil, sorry I pressed you yesterday when I was trying to get my point across. Okay, please accept my apologies there.
No
For the
apologies
record,
needed.
in CBR apologizing again for the record. There you go.
Apologies are not needed here.
Yeah, but it's nice just to be sure that I acknowledge that I pressed you when I shouldn't have done.
It's all part of the debate. It's all part of the show. Don't sweat it. I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, because sometimes, and why I'm going on it is because if I let you get in, I'm going to forget what I said, what I need to say. And what I need to say, it's only 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's initially 40 seconds, and the guy you're talking to carries on. You think, oh, I've got to carry on now. Shit. And it goes on for like 2 minutes. And by this time, I've forgotten what I've got to say.
That was when I wanted to get it out, because I'm dealing with this with my son with the dual rotation shit.
Yeah, dual poles. Yeah. So basically, it can't be dual poles anyway. And number two, first and foremost, it's the horizontal constant. So it's measured. There's no measurable curve. So you're not living on a globe. Forget that. That's dead in flat Earth ocean. It's dead in the flat Earth water. That's what I've been saying since 2015, by the way. That the flat Earth truth destroys the heliocentric model to smithereens. Flat water. It's dead in the flat Earth water. Completely and utterly dead. Yeah, you can't revive it. That's why 10 years they lost. And that should be correct. They should lose for 10 years because the Earth isn't a ball. So they've got to be losing. I don't know why they're hanging on to it. Desperate.
Exactly.
Oh, I had a early this morning Japan time. That would be yesterday for you guys. I had a discussion in a server that last year was so hostile to me, bringing in the flat Earth. This year they've been very receptive, but two guys that were from like Germany and America, one was using the N word, and then the owner of the server told him to shut up. And then the other guy was going on about gravity and that, and I just said to him, which gravity are you talking about? Because there's two proponents. Now, what are you talking about here? And he was trying to say I was wrong. I said, this is what I mean. You don't know what you're trying to defend. You know nothing about what you're trying to defend, right? And so you should go and do a bit more research, because the current standard, what they teach in university currently is the Albert Einstein, the bending and the warping of the space-time fabric. Newton's been superseded now, all right? And it was never proven. I shoved the citation into the server. And then you know what he did? He left. That was funny, and everyone said, no, they can't debate you, Jim. I goes, no, they can't. And I'm always polite. I don't throw any profanity at these idiots. Only when they start talking retarded, I say, look, that was a positive question, and you're acting in a retarded manner. You've responded retardedly. Can you not do that, please?
Maybe it's retarded.
Yeah,
They just dropped the link, so I'm going to pop over to Teams. I'll see you over there.
Okay, yeah, I'll see you over there in just a minute. Yeah. So basically, what he did was he tried to derail my mini presentation. Tried to derail it, and you got to bring them back to the point all the time. But yeah.
Hey, Nathan.
Hello.
Ooh. Hello, Nathan.
Hello. I've got to drop off the microphone, so I won't be long.
No worries. We'll keep it going.
Yep, we'll keep it rock and rolling.
Yeah, like I wasn't getting his whole freaking shtick with left effect, claiming that Brian said that and he total used and he's wrong. And I'm getting all my stuff together, and you're going to see. You're going to look like fools. When a globe comes and he talks about Earth's rotation and how the equipment that's reading it is not raw data. Holy shit. I had to hear that again yesterday. That's why I want him saying it on a live show. So I want him saying it on a live show, so we got it locked and loaded in a show. What's today's number?
Yeah.
Today's show number going to be? What was yesterday's? Anybody remember?
I know, I can't remember. I don't look at the numbers actually, so I can't give you that.
2446 is today's show.
2446. Well, he won't come because he said, "Why would I come on Nathan's? He's only going to mute me and call me a racist shill, like he said in the show." And I'm way above Nathan. I'm like, "Look, hey, you just told me last night that QE didn't come to you man to man when you got banned, and he went around on his campaign trail. So you got an issue with Nathan? Come man to man, like you said. QE should have went to you man to man. What's going on?"
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. I'd come into the show, say, "What the hell do you mean by this on a live show? What are you talking about? You know, if I'm going to get muted, I'm going to get muted, but I'm going to come in." Yeah.
No, I want
You're
him.
going to come in. If you've got a grievance.
I want him talking his nonsense on a record, not somewhere lost in 24/7. I want it on 24/46 or 24/47, so we got the show logged and he can't escape it. But he won't do it. He knows better.
Yeah. No, if you've got a grievance, you go straight to them. You go straight to the person that's bothering you. So, excuse me, what's going on here? You know, what's happening? Yeah. What do you mean by what you said yesterday? Right. And if you're going to get muted, then the person who's muted is showing cowardice. Simple as that. At least you've come in, though.
But he's using that. He's using that as an excuse. He's hiding behind that because he's come on the show many times before. All I want him to do is come on the show and tell me all about this lift effect. Tell me all about this pitch data that we're wrong about. I want you to tell me all about it, how it's not raw data and what ballers can come and say.
Right. I'd like to add just a little bit more to this data. I'm sure most of you, or maybe all of you, have seen. Do you remember the National Geographic show? And they used to put on the accident, aeroplane crashes, and they always show the data, and they show us how the plane crashed through the black box data, and they show you this aeroplane, right? An animated version, right? Simulation of what happens, yeah, right? And that simulation that they show us is coming from the black box data. That shows the plane in flight, banking left, banking right, nosing up, and then something happens where an engine let's say an engine drops off, and then it shows you how the plane crashes, right? That's what that data is all about.
Not according to AI.
Am I wrong? Yeah, he's talking silly because we've watched it so many times.
So I said to him, then what's in the black box? What's in the box? Oh, we don't know. We're not privy to that. I said, what do you mean? They put it out when they investigate crashes. I said, everything that plane does, it's going to be read out. You're going to be able to see with the pitch data, how high the plane was flying, when it started descending into its crash. It's all right there. What are you talking about? It's algorithmic data. It's not raw data. It's posted. Oh, come on with that shit. I said, I read it out.
I actually used to look forward to the black box data, you see, because you get to see how that works, and you see the simulation, the animated aircraft on your screen, and you see how the plane is flying before the incident happened. That's what I was looking forward to the most, just to see the data, because I'm always amazed at how they get this, how they transfer all that into this plane, and you see it being, demonstrating to us what happened. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. So I've always been interested in data.
Let him go around getting all his material together, and let him put forth his nonsense so we can rip it to shreds.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not reading it wrong. Remember, the Earth is indeed flat. So we're not reading it wrong at all,
I said you could throw all of it out and never look at it. We obviously see that we're flying flat and level, straight.
Yeah. You see, that's because, if a plane wants to continue flying in a curved trajectory, it has to obviously nose downwards, but it has to accelerate so it doesn't lose lift. Actually, if it's physically flying over a globe, that is physically.
No, that's
Doesn't
Brian.
do that.
That's Brian teaching you that. That's all Brian. And you guys listen. He was the one that was teaching us. That's all Brian. I finally said yesterday, oh, Brian ain't
That's
here.
crap.
You're talking to me now.
Yeah, no, I learnt mine myself. I've been talking about it since 2016, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's when I said it at the very beginning that aeroplanes prove flat Earth, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? There's no where you going with. You don't even need the black box. Your own senses. I said to AI, I would know if the plane is flying through a curved trajectory. My body would know. Okay, my body would know that. And then he asked me to describe what it would be like. I said, okay, let me describe it for you then, since you want to know. Yeah, when you're in the seatbelt. As a child, from the first time I fly in an aeroplane to the present day, if I'm in an aircraft, I close my eyes and I can tell when the plane is backing up. Remember, you're in a massive vehicle, yeah? I want to see if my senses can pick that up. I do that every time. And you know when the plane backs out of where it's parked up and then taxis out onto the runway, I can feel when it's backing up left, right, and then it starts to take off now. The acceleration kicks in, your body weight shifts in the seat, because you can feel that acceleration force, okay? Don't want to use the G-force, the acceleration force, okay? So you can feel that. And then when the plane takes off, all the rumbling and the noise from the undercarriage and the plane, that stops, boom, because you're now in the air, right? And your body weight shifts because you're in the seat, right? As the plane takes off and it's going up, it's climbing, banked slightly, okay, to the left or the right as it takes off. And then when it levels off, your body weight shifts again. Right, and that's horizontal flight, yeah. But if it was taking a curved trajectory, your body weight would shift to the front, much the same as on a roller coaster ride. And he was trying to say, yeah, but the size of the other guys, it doesn't matter. When the plane starts to take a curved trajectory over 9 hours, the body weight is going to shift because it's going around the globe. And if you're taking it, let's say from the north, from the top of that ball, and you go just 90 degrees, you're going to notice a difference. Okay, the body weight shift is going to shift. It cannot be horizontal. Because you're straw manning the ball. Because I'm not straw manning the ball. I'm telling you this is what would have to happen if you're on a ball. Otherwise, you've got to be in Narnia and pretend that doesn't happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow them to do that. You've got to pretend you're in Narnia and that don't happen on Narnia ball. No, don't be silly. Get out of here. I'm not straw manning them. Just telling the truth as I see it. It's a ball, remember? That's what annoys me. You know that? It's a bloody ball, for fuck's sake. It's a ball. You've got to be going upside down when you get to the bottom. What are you talking about? You do the loop on a roller coaster ride, right?
That's what I said to him. I said, "Yeah, you're saying that we got Wolfie saying that the freaking nose pitches down to follow the curve. He would freaking crash." He said, "No, that's Brian that said that." I said, "No, you could read it in any manuals. Pilots talk about it. They don't fly with the nose pitched down."
No, when they do those loop-the-loop maneuvers, the engine is being well thrashed, right? When those airplanes are doing a loop-the-loop, they thrash that engine to keep from losing lift. They have to. You know, when they do these stunt planes and have these competitions where they're going through these inflated pylons and that, you know, in and out and then up, and then they hold the wing like this and then they do a loop-the-loop. Yeah, well, that loop-the-loop maneuver requires a lot of engine revs just to keep it going, because it's like was said, it starts to lose lift. So you've really got to keep the foot, you know, the accelerator down. Yeah, otherwise it'll drop out the sky. Oh, right. No. That's what I mean. You know, they talk about all this. They haven't really looked into it properly, and they're being. I think when AI talks like that, he's being globe friendly. I think when he says I'm straw manning the globe, I'm not. It's a ball. That's what it is. If the plane is flying in a curved trajectory, that's what would happen. You would be upside down. Your body weight is going to shift. Come on, man. You're flying over a supposed oblate spheroid here. Fuck. You put your hand on a normal ball at the top and you see your hand following the curvature, and then you follow the curvature in increments of degrees, right? It's changing its pitch, your hand is, right? And by the time you get to 90 degrees, it's now, you know, sideways on that ball. and then you carry it through. Now it's under, it's inverted, it's up, it's antipodal now. My hands have changed. That honestly just winds me up. You put a glass of water on it on a tray and you follow that round, the glass just tips over, doesn't it?
No, actually, Jim, right? Take your hand, right? Hold your hand out with your palms down in front of your eyes, right? Are you doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now make a circle around left to right. So eventually the plane would be flying backwards if you're pitching
It's going to
down,
fly
right?
backwards, yeah. Yeah. And that's a safe loop the loop, right? That one. When you're flying backwards like that, that's a safe loop the loop, right? Because you can get out of that one. It's the one where you got to fly nose forward. That's a most dangerous one. Do you understand? Because you're going forward into a loop the loop. If you get it wrong, you crash onto the earth floor, man. You crash if you get that wrong. Yeah, yeah. A backwards loop the loop is safer than a forward one.
Well, they say they fly with the nose pitched up. So if you go with your hand and make believe you're flying around the globe, then the plane eventually when you get to the bottom of the ball, it's flying backwards. Do that with your hand. Go around, make circles with your hand. Here's the plane, the middle of your thing is the tip. Now go around. Oh, no, I'm going backwards now. So the plane's flying backwards. That's brilliant.
Well, I don't get the flying backwards bit, actually, because if I'm flying forward, all I'm doing is I'm just moving forward. Now I'm going upside down is what's happening, right? I'm not flying backwards.
Listen, you got to watch this video. There was a video where the pilot is saying they never turn around the globe.
Yeah,
they just keep flying pitch up. So if you're flying pitch up and you're not following the globe, use your hand as the plane. So if you're flying pitch up the whole time, eventually you're going backwards. Because they're saying that they don't follow the curvature of the earth. They just fly pitch up the whole time.
Yeah, I don't get the note. I don't get you're flying backwards.
Yeah, look at my hand,
what the pilots have said. Hang on.
Jim,
what the pilots have said in the documentary called.
Jim, relax. Look at my hand. All right? They're saying the plane never follows that. It's always pitch up. Now look, here's the plane. Now it's going down around the globe. Now I'm backwards. So it doesn't make any sense what they say. If they're saying the plane is going to continually fly pitch up around the globe, then eventually you're going backwards. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. Well, basically, pilots from the documentary called Flatten the Curve, they said they don't go antipodal, and then they asked at what point would my gyroscope and my instruments flip, because it would have to and they don't do that. They said when they go to Antarctica, they don't go upside down. They don't go antipodal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if they don't do that, then they would be flying backwards. If they don't do that, then they would be flying backwards. It's a contradiction. They're hanging themselves when they say that. If they're not going to follow, if they're saying they're flying over a globe and they're not going to pitch down and follow it as they're flying, then they're flying backwards eventually. And that don't happen. So it's ridiculous. It's flying over a flat plane. We all know that.
Yeah. When I hear the words flying backwards, it means you're going, the aircraft is not going forward, it's going backwards. It can't, an aircraft can't do that.
Exactly. That's my point. They can't do that. So if you're going to tell me you're flying hitch up the whole time and still going around the ball.
But I think you're not getting the point. The loop is a forward motion, isn't it?
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm talking about something totally different. I understand what you're saying.
No, I'm equivalating an aircraft that would be flying on an oblate spheroid to be doing a massive loop at the loop. That's what that would be. You start at the top, you go all the way around to the quarter, all the way, that's 90 degrees, and you go around another 90 degrees. Now you're coming around the other side, coming up now, because you've gone down on this loop the loop, and now you're coming round to come up, not going backwards at all. You're just going around in a circle. If the Earth was a globe, that's what would happen. A forward motion all the way. There would be no backwards there at all. No backward reference made.
I'm going to send you the video. It's a short video.
Send it to me through
Somebody
Teams.
talking to a pilot, and maybe you'll understand what I'm talking about. I know what you're saying. I'm saying something totally different. That totally contradicts what the pilot is saying. It was somebody in the chat. He said, wait a second, this guy's saying that they're flying pitch up. So I just took my hand, and I made believe my hand was the plane. If he's saying what he's saying, then he's saying the plane's flying backwards when he gets to a certain point, and that don't happen. So it just makes it look retarded.
At what point would that be? Because if you're going from the top of the ball and you're going round.
That's the point. It don't.
Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, so let me hear the explanation here, because that's a retarded statement if that guy said that, because that's just silly now.
No, the guy didn't say that. Somebody in chat did the demonstration. He said, if you follow what the pilot is saying, then he's basically saying that eventually he's going to be flying backwards, and that don't happen.
No plane does that. Flying backwards.
I never seen one fly backwards.
No. Helicopters can move backwards. I like that. Helicopters can fly backwards and move backwards.
They're describing a Coriolis consequence. So the Coriolis effect requires you have two reference frames, an inertial reference frame and a non-inertial reference frame. And if you've got a Coriolis effect to describe, then Earth is the non-inertial turning reference frame. And for the effect to be observed, Earth must turn underneath the aircraft. If you calculate how much the Earth is turning underneath the aircraft, you can eventually reach a point where you can only draw one conclusion, that the plane's flying backwards with respect to the non-inertial turning reference frame. Now, that doesn't happen because Earth isn't a non-inertial turning reference frame. Flying backwards isn't something that we notice. We would if Earth was a non-inertial turning reference frame. It just isn't. Check. How's this mic? Sound good?
Sounds a little choppy to me.
A little bit choppy?
No, it's
Give me a full sentence.
It's not very loud. Sorry, it's not very loud.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is the AKG D190E cardioid dynamic 1970s handheld stage microphone, and this is how it sounds.
Yeah, it sounds all crystal clear, but the volume is low.
Volume doesn't matter.
Yeah, just a little bit low, but it's fine. Crystal clear. I could hear you crystal clear. Just a low volume. That's all. No power there.
What about this
you
one?
Sound like a radio show.
It's different mic, same model of mic, but a different mic. So this is again the AKG D190E handheld stage cardioid dynamic 1970s stage microphone, and this is how this one sounds.
Much better. Solid. Sell that immediately.
So you're saying that this one doesn't sound the same as this one? You're telling me that this one sounds different?
Yeah, that one sound. Yeah, the volume is weaker. Yeah, it's definitely weaker.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, so one of them sounds broken, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And also, since you're troubleshooting, please, can you make it happen that when you're presenting your screen, it's visible here on Discord? Thank you.
No, we can't. Joking.
Microsoft, Bill Gates, and all other companies, and you cannot do it?
Yeah. You know, your audio is little bit muffled, okay? It's not crystal clear. So you need to work on your mic. And that's I'm being serious. Sincerely, your mic is not, your audio is a little bit muffled. You need to speak into your mic a bit better, I think.
Yes, sir. This is some cheap headphones, Bluetooth crap. I usually don't speak Just listening and watching when possible.
Okay, yeah. You better not speak because the mic's not good at all.
Don't listen to him. My mic sucks and I talk all the time.
Yeah, your mic's okay, John. It's crystal clear. You sound like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Thanks for
Right, you
noticing.
do though. You do though, John. You sound like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Is it now any better?
Is that refracted?
Yes.
You should have been here yesterday. Jedi was in here, and after the show and everything, they got into the freaking 2 poles and opposite star rotation in the south. Holy shoot, my head is hurting.
That's to get into the weeds of that. The point is, it's measured flat. It's a horizontal constant, and that's it. Looking up there is not proving your globe. And if you're trying to offer me this 2-pole thing, you've got to go. Let's go over there and check it out. But it's not proving that the Earth is a ball. So it's a waste of time anyway. You know, I'm not interested in the 2-pole crap. Really, it's not interested. The main thing is the Earth is flat, and we're not spinning. We're not hurtling through the universe. That's all nonsense. And then can we move on again and get that revolution on and start, stopping the space agency as well, because that's another black hole. That is the original black hole, the space budget.
So refracted. What was said yesterday was, if I'm in Jamaica facing north and I do an about face, you're not facing south.
Okay.
Now, is that possible?
I didn't understand that either.
I don't understand that. Like I understood Vaxie's point, and I was really trying to freaking understand what they were saying. And I thought I had it. They were saying, well, it depends on where you are. You just can't say that if I'm got a compass and I'm facing north and I do an about face, that doesn't mean you're facing south.
That is exactly what it means.
That's what I always thought.
Sounds like someone's trying to unlock the geometry of the stars.
Well, it's very freaking weird. And this is coming from F.E. Jedi, and F.E. Jedi is usually on point. But he said it was bothering him because people in Australia are telling him that they're seeing opposite star rotation, and as they investigated it, these are the things that they're seeing. That's what he was saying. Opposite star rotation is a consequence of celestial navigation.
Which is like crap. Whenever I don't know if you know this person, but her name was Troubles About, and she was always offering up this Southern Cross star rotation thing. I said, you're looking in the wrong direction because it's not proving you're a globe when you have horizontality everywhere. So stop saying, she's from Australia, she lives there. She's always coming on live and that, yeah, when we're on the Hangouts. I said, you're looking in the wrong direction because that's not proving that you're on a globe when you've got all this measured horizontality everywhere. Where's the curvature in this? You keep going to the stars, but what about the ground? You have to measure the ground, I said. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Or don't. I mean, it's up to you.
Neil was just rejoined.
No, I don't know what's going on my phone. No. They weren't saying it pertaining to a globe. They were still saying it's flat. Look, I don't know what the hell they were saying. My brain is freaking spinning today.
Yeah.
They were trying to create a fixed southern celestial pole, which it's not fixed. We already know that. They call it a wobble when they talk about it. They claim it's because of precession. But the North Star's fixed. Go figure.
Well, I think they were claiming that's what Vaxie was trying to do. I don't know. I wish it would have been in a live show so we could have had it recorded. This went on for hours in the freaking after show, and Vaxie, he doesn't stop. He keeps. He left, they came back, because then when he came back, they were going AI. It was AI Overlord and Jedi in here, and now their attack is on the pitch data. That it's not raw data. And what are you going to do when the global comes in and says that, well, this lines up with Earth rotation? Some nonsense like that. I'm like, did you just throw Earth's rotation at me?
They're talking about the algorithm that scales your information. Like, is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, he's saying that the pitch data is not even in the black box. We're not privy to the black box. I said, all right, so what's in the box? He goes, we don't know. We're not privy to it.
So the information that was given out by the NTSB from the black box of the crashed plane, or the plane that had to make an emergency landing,
Right.
that was not from the black box,
No,
according to them.
according to AI.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of odd claim to make. Good for him, I guess.
Yeah, very weird. So when I told him, but he won't say it on a lie. He'll say it buried in 24/7, and he'll say it in the shows when nothing's being recorded. But I want him on this show where it's recorded. So I'm trying to tell him to get in here. When Nathan's here, he won't come because he said, why would I come? Nathan said he'll just mute me and call me a racist shill. And I'm way above Nathan anyway. I don't need to go on his show.
Then don't.
Exactly, and then don't. But if you're going to make these claims and you're claiming all of these things, so what are you doing? And he said QE wasn't man enough to face you face to face when you banned him. Well, now you got an issue with Nathan. Come and face him face to face. He's got a weird reasoning system, and he's got like a double standard, hypocritical.
A lot of people do, Neil. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah, but he just said it to me the night before. He was accusing QE of freaking never coming to him man to man. And the next day he's doing the same thing with Nathan. Come on. You can't make this shit up. And I even said it to him. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Last night you said to me that QE never came to you man to man. And now you're doing the same thing here with Nathan. So I'm
Here's
way
what I'll
above
say.
Nathan.
He'll say, it's not raw data. I'll go, and? Oh, well, it's not raw. I'll go, so? What difference does it make? Does it change flight level? Does it change the pitch with respect to the horizontal? Does anything change because it's not raw? Because it's gone through an algorithm to get it onto a sheet of paper? Who gives a crap? It doesn't change anything about what the information actually presents, does it?
No, absolutely not.
And if he's suggesting that, well, actually, they had a ball, like, okay, show us.
He's claiming you got to be ready for what Globers say when they bring Earth's rotation into it. I'm like, Earth's rotation? I wouldn't even pay that any attention.
Rotation? So he's not describing any difference in terms of the pitch up with respect to horizontal. He's suggesting that ballers will respond with Earth rotation. Well, that would be a non sequitur then, wouldn't it? Because the pitch data is describing the pitch of the plane with respect to the horizontal, or the altitude of the plane with respect to sea level. So what, it's nothing to do with either of those two things that prove Earth's being measured flat in the data. That's not raw, because it's gone on a piece of paper. Yeah, we're not looking at the actual gyroscope, that's correct. But regardless, he's suggesting that something to do with the Coriolis effect needs to be... No. Earth would be turning underneath the plane if that was the case.
Yeah, he was claiming something about Earth's rotation lining up with that's what I guess Sperry would come back with, and Sperry validates it. Who am I going to believe, Sperry or the flat earther? Well, the Globers are going to believe what Sperry says or whatever the company is.
Believe? You're going to believe the measurements?
Yeah, but
Good luck with that.
That didn't make no sense to me anyway, because even when you're doing celestial navigation, they got a bunch of ball stuff in there. You got to be able to decipher where the bullshit is. Sorry.
I never believe anybody else's measurements. I have to do it myself.
Well, you measure twice, cut once, correct?
My case 3 times.
That is absolutely professional. You measure twice and cut once. Absolutely.
Not me. I measured 3 times. When you get old, you got to make sure you measure. Wait a second. I walk away. Is that the right measurement? Let me do it again. Oh, you say, let me measure it a 3rd time. Yeah, but that was the rule of thumb. Measure twice, cut once. And any time I broke that rule, I always made a mistake.
You should have just calculated it, mate.
Yeah, they're in chat. You know, with this new server, Nathan, you got all the elder bears and the bevs they're happy to be in here now, and you got to deal with this nonsense all day long. Freaking now, elder bear was saying that they have elevation changes. Where is ours? I said elevation changes. From what? Welcome to flat Earth.
Exactly. When they speak, just part in their mouths and leave them alone. That's it. Let them deal with that. Don't even engage them. I don't even engage them.
No, I got myself roped in with Elder Bear last night. I shouldn't have. But he's like, skipping past the angle again, like the 60 nautical miles. I said, you're talking about the calculation, mate. We've just measured an elevation angle from sea level. End of story. I don't need to talk about anything else about 69 statuate or 60 nautical. I don't care. Don't care.
Right. Last week, Jenna had a new server started. Yeah, I come into the server after work, and Berserker and Jenna were talking to this elder bear. They didn't even know it was elder bear until I pointed it out to them. I said, "Look, that's elder bear here. You're not going to go anywhere with this. He's just going to run you around in circles. I suggest you remove him from the server. Otherwise, you're going nowhere." She goes, "Is that elder bear?" "That's elder bear." "Didn't you know?" She goes, "No." "Well, that's who he is." "Okay, well, that's it. You're gone. I've spoken to my council. Boom, gone. End of."
He also could come in as Hayuka. Hello.
Yeah. He came in as Fallen Friends. I said, even the name is telling you, Fallen Friends. That's a little nuance to QE and Nathan. Fallen Friends. Can you see that?
It's also very telling though, Jin, because the word fallen implies that you're somewhere up high to fall from.
Yeah.
So above him.
Oh, yeah. Sea level isn't level. It's just a point, guys, just to be clear.
Right. That's a good point. Was raised as well. And then AI came in as citation police. So I go away. A couple of days later, I went back to the server again after work. I come into here, AI and Berserker going at it a little bit. And Berserker didn't know it was AI, you see. So I tried to it took me about 3 to 4 minutes to get him to calm down. Berserker to calm down so I could actually say, "Look, that's AI you're talking to." And when I said that, he just stopped. The server just went quiet. And he goes, "Are you sure?" I goes, "That is AI speaking to you right now. Mr. Citation Police is AI." Then I asked AI, "Why did you come in as Citation Police? And you're acting as if to say, no one can talk to you unless we've got citations. What's going on there?" Right? And then that's when Jenna realized, and she removed him as well.
He's got to be the guy. He said it when he said it yesterday. I'm way above Nathan. I'm way above Nathan. Oh, okay, so that's what it is, huh? You think you're the man, and what you say goes. And Berserker, that guy's got other issues. I went in there. I tried to set them straight. They're not listening. I'm done with them.
Why are they trying to make it about people? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Can we not just deal with?
In case you went from the measurements, John. That's why.
Well, with Berserker, it's specifically about the book. He wants Nathan and Chewie to kiss and make up. He's not understanding. That's not how it goes. right? And he's bought into the freaking two-book nonsense shit. So I'm done with him. I'm done with that whole server over there. QE server. I don't go there.
I warned you there was a cult like forming months ago. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think it would get this bad, but
No, it is bad. It's getting worse, too, right? You'll see him popping there around 10, 11 o'clock every night and got the whole audience, and he's able to spew his bullshit. Now, I preempted everything, and I let them know exactly what went down, right? Just so I can get ahead of it. And if they're not going to pay attention and they're just going to listen to him, then I can't help them.
it's kind of funny though. Within every claim that they've made, the first thing they do is concede that it was Nathan's book. And then they'll make their claims after
I just listened to a show yesterday. Liam gave it to me. I listened through it, and right freaking during it when it was the one where Adam was trying to, tell Nathan that you got to use the old arguments, this and the other thing. This, and in the middle of it, he goes, "Listen, you're gonna have to make your rounds. This is your book." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty telling." That was only a few months ago he said that.
Right, just touching on the Antarctica TFE thing, right? Just before it happened, do you remember that Flat Earth Banjo put out a video where a tour guide offers guided tours to see the North Pole? At the North Pole, go and see the 24-hour sun at the North, guided tours. And then the guy who was representing the company was asked, "Do you conduct these tours in Antarctica?" And he says, "No, we don't." And I thought that was odd, because if you're making money in the North, you'd go to the South and continue to make money, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I remember that.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you. So that was very strange, that.
Before we start the live show, I got a fairly long message from 10th Man, which was about yesterday's show, and he was discussing various different aspects of Jedi's declarations of non-triangles. But at the end of his message, I just want to read out the last sentence that 10th Man said. He said, "Personally, I don't need to defend measurements. I just proclaim them."
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's good,
perfect.
that is. Yeah, I love it.
That's basically what we're doing anyway.
Yeah, I like
keep
that.
saying it's just a measurement. What are you talking about? Everybody else is coming with all this other nonsense. It's not a triangle, is it? It's a what do you conceptual triangle, whatever. It's still a triangle, right?
The horizontal constant is required. Sorry. Go on, John. Sorry, mate.
They're trying to use logic and reason to override experience. I kid you not. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, what they're saying is, if you're saying that that triangle meets at somewhere in free space, then that means you know the height of the star. Does it?
Nathan's definition was best, because you read the definition now, and they put in measurements to the sides of the triangle. That's what they wanted to do. But it's just like Tim said, it's just a term. It's a term that's used in the books. It's just a terminology. It's not an actual bleeding real triangle. It's not a physical triangle. When you draw it out, it looks triangle shape. So you use the word triangle.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's not that serious. Like I said yesterday, you've got terms in surveying like curved horizontals. They use them terms when they're doing horizontal curves of pavements round corners. It's a curved horizontal. So these terms you can use in different aspects, but it doesn't mean that we're not dealing with a bleeding triangle, are we? Triangulation. It's an elevation angle we're dealing with.
Right.
And a distance across sea level to find your bloody location.
How are you?
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Very well. I'm going to start off by repeating what I repeated in the pre-show from 10th Man's message to me yesterday, discussing yesterday's show. I won't bore you with the intricate details of his dissection of yesterday's show, but I will repeat verbatim his last sentence in this message. Quote, "Personally, I don't need to defend measurements. I just proclaim them." End quote, 10th Man.
Profound, but it's true.
It's very true, yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a reason.
He doesn't worry about it.
Well, it works both ways. So when I describe how the normies that we're covering on the videos that we cover of recent times don't make any explanations, declarations, or apologies for how globe-shaped the world isn't when they measure it flat. They just describe how they make the measurement, and that's it. There's nothing else to declare. Now, the same principle applies to us. There's no need to defend anything when you lay down how Earth is measured flat. Back when this first came to our attention in terms of how we would put it across in the so-called debate, I described it as you slap it on the desk and then walk away. You slap down how Earth is measured flat. There's no need to explain it. There's no need to justify it. There's no need to use it as an argument. It isn't an argument. It's a declaration of fact when it comes to how Earth is measured. Earth is measured flat. No need to explain. No need to defend. No need to justify. It's just a fact. It's not that serious. It's just how we measure Earth. Flat in all circumstances and without exception.
Agreed.
I mean, you can offer up some crazy apologetic for why it isn't being measured spherically. So over curry on Friday of last week, I was discussing this with Craig, who has watched Dave McKeegan's latest videos about elevation profiles. And he said, well, you can still graph things that aren't flat. For example, revolutions per minute. You can describe that on a flat graph. You're like, okay, so that means that when we measure the deviation from the vertical with a mean average of sea level, that's comparable in some form or another to the lack of curvature when compared to an engine that's turning. I'm going to go with no. We're just measuring the difference on the vertical when we get an average for sea level and then use that to describe how much the topology of the land rises or falls with respect to that average sea level. It's level. The clue's in the title. Now, when you're talking about a car with its revolutions per minute, the clue is in the title there too. It's got revolutions per minute in the description. But when you're describing how flat sea level is, it's not sea revolutions per minute. So Dave McKeegan, demonstrating his complete idiocy as always, in his fugly manner that he does. Comparatively speaking, you can't use revolutions to compare and contrast to flat sea level. It's just level. It's not that serious. We just measure Earth flat.
So they're going full retard, huh?
Yep. Never go full retard,
Yeah.
Dave McKeegan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever think that measurements would do this much damage to both sides? I thought everybody would be jumping for joy. Instead, it's creating friction everywhere.
Yeah, it's friction causing because if you're on the globe side of this discussion, the order of the day until recently was utilise flat Earth prerequisite measurements of surface level, elevation angles, altitude, eye level, and then once you've acquired said measurements from a flat Earth, talk about how you will calculate into existence a spherical Earth. Now, the order of the day is don't mention the fact that we had to measure it flat first, and no one will notice. Now we've noticed. Now, because the normies, as I just said earlier, also measure Earth flat, but see no need to utilise said flat measurements for an apologetic for how curved it isn't, they just talk about how they measure Earth flat. No explanation, no justification, no apology. But in this little arena, as I say, the order of the day is use flat Earth measurements to create a ball to believe in and hope that nobody notices. Well, we noticed, yeah? Earth was being measured flat the entire time by everyone. without exception. So now we've noticed it's not that serious. You measure Earth flat. I measure Earth flat. The normies measure Earth flat. We all measure Earth flat. It's because it's flat.
But Nathan, if I just use that, then I can't impress people with my ability to unpack Coriolis.
You hit it right in the head.
Yeah. That's something that I've described this as something detestable that I hated learning. Why would I have to fill my head with descriptions of non-inertial turning reference frames with objects travelling in a straight line above them in an inertial reference frame, with you on the non-inertial turning reference frame observing a not actual deflection as the object travelling in a straight line appears to drift because you're turning underneath it, aka the Coriolis deflection or Coriolis force, the force being the not actual curving of the ball that's actually travelling in a straight line. Now, I can concisely summarise this after doing this crap for 10 years. But a lot of people in the arena want to sound intellectually superior to next man by knowing such convoluted nonsense to spew at their next man when describing how Earth isn't turning underneath aeroplanes, hot air balloons, and you if you jump up and down, as it's claimed to be when described as a non-inertial turning reference frame. All the people in our side, that's the anti-globers, formerly known as flat earthers, want to do is fart and then sniff their own stink while they spew their Coriolis nonsense at people. Now me, I'm just like, why do I need to know this crap? I don't need to know it. It's not necessary. There is no Coriolis for an Earth that's turning, because it's not. We'd notice. We don't. If we're on a roundabout with a ball tossed over the top of us, we notice it seems to curve when it's really travelling in a straight path. That's got sod all to do with Earth, so why the hell should I have to learn it? Now, I don't want to, but the people around me do. They want to so that they can seem intellectually superior to the next person that they're talking to in line about how Earth isn't turning. It's pathetic.
Show 2381. Hold on 1 second. Show 2380.
Hang on. You're always getting in there. Can I get in there now? Thanks. No, that's absolutely not right there, Nathan. Not all flat earthers are snipping their own butts, okay? That's too fucking general. Strong. Don't even go there. All right? That's not good at all. That's a slur on me. I'm one of those guys you're talking about.
Second, Neil.
I will always take the time to explain if it's necessary. The fact that I've learned it is good because I can stop the deception right there. It's measured flat.
Just address you then.
The Earth isn't rotating. Great. That's what I'm saying, yeah?
Gotcha.
So it's okay for people. Not all flat earthers want to be that intellectual. There are some out there, yes. I've met them myself. But me and the people I hang around with, that's not what we do, you know? We sincerely just want to engage and stop the misinformation. And sometimes you've got to learn their silliness in order to get that across. So please be careful.
We learned it 10 years ago. So 2381.
Thanks, Neil. Hold on, I want to address him. I've just told you twice.
I'm still engaging.
Oh, my God, Neil. I do want to respond to him. What Jin's accusing me of, my God, is a stereotyping fallacy. He's saying you can't stereotype all flat earthers as enjoying their own flatulence when they describe not actual deflection from a non-inertial turning reference frame, aka Coriolis effect. Not all anti-globers, formerly known as flat earthers, love sniffing their own farts when they describe Coriolis effect. Just most of them.
Is it safe? What the freak?
Yes.
Show 2381. Brian, Nathan's trying to make us irrelevant by just going to the measurements. So, yes, there are a lot of people that are like that, Jin. Maybe not you. So sometimes if it don't apply, let it fly.
Just for clarity in that regard, Brian's utter irrelevance in this forum has nothing to do with Earth measurements, just because it's Brian.
I'm never going to let it fly because it's not most flat earthers. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? Most flat earthers. Where'd you get that from?
It was a joke.
No.
Instead of being an overt stereotyping fallacy, I made it a mild stereotyping fallacy for humorous effect, Jin.
Okay, got it now.
Still, both were a stereotype. If I say most flat earthers, that's just as much a stereotyping fallacy. I just did it for a laugh. It was just supposed to be funny.
But sometimes people might not get that joke. Be careful. I didn't get it.
Yeah, but
Well, I would
you're
say
the unique one, Jim.
I would say that the people that oppose the measurements, who are flat earthers, they have something wrong with them. And that's as good a guess as I'm willing to give.
Okay, that's perfect. Jim, I've always said to you, you're different because you love the measurements. There are some, and they sat right here, that detested that we went right to measurements. Those are the ones that want to sniff their own farts. Not you.
Yeah. So when Brian says Nathan's trying to make us irrelevant with measurements, it's because when you cut the knees off your opponent by saying it's not that serious, we just measure Earth flat, we collectively, you, me, everyone measures Earth flat. There aren't any exceptions to that. Brian damn well knew it the moment I started describing it. That's why he objected. His initial objection was you can't describe flatness in that statement. It's just a description as opposed to a geometrical, mathematical, accurate assertion. It's just a description. The word flat isn't the right word. Piss off, you stupid idiot. Yeah, it is. We measure Earth flat. You don't like that fact because you've been made redundant. All your study over the last 10 years, the only thing that gave you a semblance of any importance here, is washed away when you can tell next man, it's not that serious. Earth's measured flat. No, you must understand how the pitch data works. No, you don't need to know any of that stuff. You don't need to know how Coriolis works. You don't need to know how pitch data works. You don't need to know about advanced heliocentrism. But that's what my counterparts spent the entire time sniffing their own farts with. Look how intellectually superior we are. We understand heliocentrism. I can describe the Einsteinian field equations in a concise summary. Wow, can you? Well, that makes you very important, doesn't it? Until I come along and say, it's not that serious. Just measure Earth flat. We, that's everyone, measures Earth flat. Suddenly, knowing how advanced heliocentrism works becomes far less important. But if that's all you've got, then you're going to be annoyed at me, someone with personality that will survive this moving on. You know, somebody with a crap mic that can't hear a single sentence because they're muffled and muttering and not concise and waffling the same things 5 times. Those people can become quickly irrelevant when someone with a bit of personality just says, it's not that serious. Earth's just measured flat. So yeah, they're going to kick up a fuss. They want to seem intellectually superior. Well, you're not. Nobody cares. It's not that serious.
Well, I earlier on today, Japan time, that would be Japan in the morning. It would be yesterday for you guys. I was embroiled in this debate there, and I laid it down, the horizontal constant of is measured flat, and I still had to elaborate because the people themselves wanted an explanation. Do you know what I mean? What am I going to? I'm just going to say to them, it's measured flat. That's all you need to know. Don't sweat it. No, they were firing questions 10 to the dozen. So I had to know their model to show them the errors in their model, ladies and gentlemen, right? That's all. So you're going to need to elaborate. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Right.
Go ahead, John.
And if you don't want to, if you don't wish to elaborate, that's fine.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, don't.
I thought Refracted was trying to get in.
He is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought you were trying to get in, Nathan. Oh, why do you need to know how they're wrong if you know it's measured flat and they know that too? Why do you have to fix their cognition for them?
Right. They don't know that, though. That's the thing. The guys you may be talking about are the seasoned globers who know it's flat, and I don't engage those idiots. I don't really have to engage them to explain. They know. I'm talking about the new people that come along first time, and you say that to them, they don't know what you mean. Okay, they're the people I engage. New people, not the globers and the Gem Pandas and the Earth Awakenings and all that. I don't waste my time there. When I go to listen, say a few words and I'm gone. But I'm talking about people who are just coming in. I'm meeting people who are just coming in still 10 years later. They're the people I'm talking about that you have to elaborate to. They don't even know their own model. They don't even know the errors in their model.
That's not what he asked.
That they were.
His question was directed to you, as in, why do you need to fix them?
Well, because I said that Earth is measured flat. It's a flat Earth that we live on. That's why.
Yeah, but then you said that they don't understand that. At that point, either they're just stupid or they have a preconceived religious belief that they want to express at you. Then the question comes from John, well, why do you want to rearrange their cognition?
Oh, yeah, because I want them to understand that they're living on a flat Earth and what they think they live on doesn't exist.
Why?
You just ask them, hang on, I asked them, can you actually prove, have you actually gone out to confirm that? Are you believing? Because believing means you've accepted something without confirmation or validation. That means you don't actually know. Is that how you want to live your life? That's cool. You want to do that? That's fine. But it's not a globe, though.
Yeah, but you still haven't answered the question. Just listen carefully. John's asking you why you want to convert them, as opposed to how they don't understand, which is what you're answering.
Well, they're asking me questions. So they're asking me questions. So then that's why. If they're asking me questions as to why I'm saying it's flat, I'll tell them why it's flat. It's measured flat. So it's quite simple, isn't it? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask, do you put yourself in situations to be asked those questions because you feel like it's your calling in life?
No, I don't put myself in that situation as such. The topic may come up, space, Earth, globe. And then I say, how do you know it's a globe? I ask them how they know it's a globe. And that's not a crime. It's not a crime to ask somebody, how do they know that the Earth is a globe when you're carrying the information that it's not, that you should be sharing with everyone when the timing is right, of course. So don't go out on the street and start shoving it down people's throats. That's not what I do. Thank you very much. But when the topic matter comes up, especially in school situations, education, I ask the students and engage them to say, how do you know this? And that's when they learn that the Earth is not a globe. So I feel as a human being living on the flat Earth, I'm doing my job correctly. After all, how this Earth was made, nobody knows. But lies are being told about it. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm putting the record straight. Thank you. And that's my right to do that. Thanks.
No, I didn't say it wasn't. But when you say on the streets, you mean in public, right?
Yeah,
that's just like a slang way of saying.
Yes, absolutely. When I'm on holiday, on the beach, park, mountaineering, yeah.
Oh, you literally mean on the streets then, not metaphorically?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
My God, you're a proper flat Earth evangelist.
Well, I'm not an evangelist at all, no, because I'll take that as an insult because I'm not doing evangelistic work at all. I'm sincerely informing the people that they've been misinformed. That's all. And they're very respectful. And I do mini presentations from my smartphone. And
that's not an insult.
Don't take that literally. It's a joke, mate.
No, but that's not an insult. You are a flat Earth evangelist. You feel that you want to tell people that they've been lied to and that the Earth is really flat. There's nothing wrong with that, Jin.
Yeah,
when I say evangelist, hold on, Jin. When I say it, right, it's specifically in reference to Christians. But an evangelist is somebody who seeks to convert others to the Christian faith. Now, when I say you're a flat Earth evangelist, you are seeking to convert people to the reality of a flat Earth. So I'm not trying to insult you by that. I'm just saying that the word that it needs to make it less insulting is the proactivity aspect of it that I'm not including when I say flat Earth evangelist. I mean, you go out and proactively tell people that they've been deceived.
When the time comes up, when the timing is right, that's it. When the timing is right. So I'm not like today, I didn't do any much, only this morning on a server, but on the streets, I didn't do that today. The timing wasn't there.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, but evangelize doesn't mean just the street. It means when the opportunity comes up, you're going to tell them, okay, so if I'm a Christian evangelist, when the opportunity comes up, I evangelize. I tell people about Christ. When the opportunity comes up, you tell people about flat Earth. It was definitely not made to be an insult.
Yeah, we can call you Saint Jin, the evangelist.
And now he's being funny.
Yeah, I won't like that because I'm a Muslim anyway, so I won't like that at all.
I didn't know you were a Muslim.
I would take that as an insult.
No, that makes a lot more sense that you'd find that insulting then. My bad, I will take it back. I didn't know you were a Muslim. I'm sure you have actually told me previously, I just forgot.
Yeah.
All right, now if we're talking about measurements, I had to tell a lot.
The way we're using...
Go ahead, John, you go first.
No, Neil, you were ahead of me, actually. You go.
Yeah, but you're never here. So when you're here, we like to hear from you. So go ahead.
Well, I was just saying the term evangelism, it's been attached to Christianity. But the meaning of the word is just to rearrange someone's cognition. You're trying to change the way they think.
Yes.
Actually, I'm not doing that. What I'm doing, sorry to cut you off, John. I'm informing them. That's all. They're going to have to do the cognitive processes themselves if they do wish to do the investigation and change their mind themselves. I'm just giving them the information. That's all.
Good point.
Okay, from what I know, evangelist comes from the prefix EU, which means good or well in English, plus angel, which is another word for message. Angels of God basically means messengers of God. So evangelist is one who takes the good message to the world, which is the gospel, basically.
It gave me goosebumps. Couldn't be more complimentary when you define it that way. You're the good messenger of God, Jin, when you evangelize the facts of Earth's flatness.
Yeah, I know Allah will be pleased because he can see that I'm informing people about his beautiful Earth that he has created, which is totally horizontal. And that is an emotional connection that people will, and I want people to enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Allah be praised. Yeah. The Earth is flat.
Allah Akbar, we say. Allah Akbar, Subhan Allah. Allah is great. Allah is wonderful.
And Earth is flat.
I say praise Jesus because he's Almighty God. But let's not get into religion. I have the total opposite effect. Like when I explained to my son how Earth is measured, he understood it. Is he a flat earther now? No. But he's coming around. Like last night when I said to him, Jacob, you understand the measurements, right? He's like, yeah, I know. So when they're presented with measurements, they cannot go turn to a globe because you've just demonstrated that it's flat.
Yes. The fact that we measure it is, and I've said this all of last week, the one reason that people can turn to you after this process is concluded and say, I already knew. It must be acceptable as self-evident for people to understand it. If it isn't, then they can start asking questions, even if they tentatively accept a flat Earth belief system as something that they could engage with. The question that almost immediately follows, without stereotyping absolutely everybody, is what difference does it make? So that question's never been answered. There's never been a satisfactory answer. Now there is one. When somebody says to you, well, what difference does it make? I can answer, none. No difference at all. Nothing will change whatsoever. Earth was, is, and always will be measured flat. Nothing changes. What's that? But you believed you were on a ball? Yeah, and? Doesn't mean that anything around you is going to change. We'll still be measuring Earth flat tomorrow as we measure Earth flat today. And it was measured flat yesterday. So from that perspective, in terms of how we deal with Earth, nothing will change. What's that? You need to relinquish a belief? Who cares? It was a belief. You never went out to a sky vacuum that doesn't exist. You never experienced sphericity beneath your feet. So these beliefs that you held were just that, beliefs. Very easy to relinquish. What's that? That will change your life. No, it really won't. Relinquishing your ball belief won't change your life at all, because Earth's still measured flat.
No, yeah, relinquishing your belief, ladies and gentlemen, will lighten the load on your brain because you now know that you're not living on a globe, you're living on a planet Earth. And then you might begin to wonder, so did they go to the moon? Can we go to space? No. What about all that money that we're losing, through this deception? So it will change your life. It might prompt you to want to inform others so that you can then form a group and start demanding the government accountability as to why are you wasting our money on a space project when nothing is actually happening out there. You're stealing our money. So this thing is it could be quite serious, ladies and gentlemen. It changed my life. I'm much happier now that I know that asteroids are not going to come in and destroy the Earth, for example. So it's an emotional uplift. That's a fact. And no one could ever take that away from me.
I agreed with you right up until the point that you were like, well, they're stealing our money. I have a certain amount of apathy for that fact, because the money aspect to me isn't so important. It's just little bits of paper that they print out with numbers in computers. It's just, to me, you can't take it with you when you die. In terms of its usefulness, yes, it's a means to an end. We all require money to do certain things, but it shouldn't be the most important thing in life. Therefore, when there's others who dedicate their life to it and dedicate their being to lying and deceiving so that they can achieve more money, to me, like I say, I have a certain amount of apathy towards that.
But we're about to be taxed 40% in the UK, mate. So, personally, I find it's that disgusting.
I would say render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. When you look at that money, what does it say on it?
Yours says, in God we trust. As says, God save the king. Who says, in God we trust?
Who owns that note? Who is printed as, who's the authority of that note you're holding when you hold up money? Is it you?
No.
The promissory note. The promissory note.
Promissory note, yes.
It says if you present the note at the bank, they will give you the amount of gold that it's worth.
No, that's if it's backed by gold.
Is anybody else?
It is a Federal Reserve note.
Sorry, Matthias, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a Federal Reserve note for the American citizens.
I just want to read this out because I'd never heard that phrase before. So the phrase, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and to God what belongs to God, comes from the teachings of Jesus in the Gospels, Matthew 22:21. It means that the people should fulfill their obligations to the government, such as paying taxes, whilst maintaining their ultimate obligation and devotion to God. That was epic. Perfectly timed, perfectly dropped in, John. Love it.
Well, actually, there's a couple other verses in the Bible that strictly dictate that everything on this earth, in this earth, and under the heavens belongs to God. So nothing belongs to Caesar. Everything belongs to God. So,
and I think it's a crime that children not yet born are going to be born into the heavy debt that they didn't have anything to do with, and they're going to be paying taxes for things that they don't benefit from. That's stealing, that's criminality, that's corruption. That's why it's disgusting, as my esteemed colleague, just blurted out there. Thank you. Okay?
Well,
so, no, I'll always be the guy that's going to be fighting the system and making sure that they know that what they're doing is wrong. Okay? Thank you.
Well, and another thing, if a book is telling you to pay taxes to a government system that condones and even advocates for baby sacrifices, also known as abortions, then I don't think that's a very holy book to begin with.
Fair enough.
It's when you look at this properly, very dangerous. Remember, they're giving us horrible things to take into our bodies as well. All right? Yeah, let's carry on.
Taking a scripture out of context.
Yeah, we are. We're making it far more serious than it needs to be.
I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go from the fact that Earth is measured flat to a potential debate about abortion. You get it all here on Flat Earth Debate, I tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, that's because everything's happening on a flat Earth, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, John. Everything's happening on a flat Earth, you see, ladies and gentlemen. The horizontal constant. That's where we are. And all actions are happening on flat Earth, where it's measured and utilized flat. Thank you.
What would be the implication for a Muslim in reference to, the globe Earth and the flat Earth? Would that be different if you need to point your mat in a certain direction towards Mecca? What would be it? Would you know that, Jin, the implications of that?
Yeah, that's very, very true. A black American, actually, back in 2016, put it out. He said that if you're looking at the Mercator map and you're trying to get to Mecca, you're looking in the wrong direction. But yeah, on the AE map, it was perfect. So yeah, there is a problem with that. You could be facing the wrong direction, thinking you're praying to Mecca, and you're not.
Yeah, sure, but directionality itself is flat. So if you're going to say, well, let's point towards Mecca, and it's that direction, when you give it out as a direction on a compass, the directionality itself can only be described as a flat direction.
You beat me to it.
Absolutely correct. Wasn't on a globe. It didn't work at all.
Sorry, Jim. So as I understand it, the Muslims in North America, they face northeast.
It's a flat direction, though, isn't it? Northeast is flat. You've seen it on a compass as flat, right?
What map?
Stuttery, do you want to acknowledge what I've just said? Because I've said it twice and you haven't acknowledged me. I've answered you, Edebe, you cheeky tosser. Flat, like on a compass. You understand that, do you?
Yeah, I know, but if
you stuttery little bitch, I'm going to give you one last chance to respond to what I've actually addressed you with when you brought up a point about praying to Mecca. It is a flat direction, like on a compass. Fourth time, if you don't say yes, I'll kick you out.
Well, the difference is...
Bye-bye, dickhead. Bye-bye, dickhead. If you bring up a point on my show, and then I directly respond to you, and you stutter and stammer and try and find the words to undermine what I've said rather than just saying yes, that's to say you address the fact that Edebe couldn't quite cope with in this example. Take a compass, put it on your hand, and look at any direction on it. It is flat. Edebe couldn't quite cope with that fact, so he turned into a stuttery little bitch, didn't he? Yeah, when you point out that all Earth measurements are flat, in this case directionality on a compass, you'll get stuttery, stammery little bitches who can't quite cope with that fact. Need to find different words where I can't find the words to undermine what you've said in address to what I've brought up. Yeah, if you're going to pray in a direction towards Mecca, it's going to be flat. That's the fifth time I've said it to address this tosser that's just been removed from my show's point, that he brought up and got addressed 5 times. Twat.
You're absolutely 1,000% correct, right, Nathan, because it is a flat direction without a doubt. And when you look at that globe, okay, it's all wrong. When you look at the AE map, even though it's a controversial map, the actual direction is absolutely correct. It is northeast. It's just that it looks stupid on the globe. It's the wrong direction on the globe, but on the AE, it's bang on the money.
There is no north
and the right direction.
There is no northeast on a globe. Right, northeast is a flat directionality, isn't it, Jin?
Absolutely 1,000% correct.
So why is it that Jin can acknowledge this, but stuttery, stammery Edebe can't? Yeah? Shills everywhere. It's not that serious, though. Yeah, just go and look at a compass. It's flat. Now, that shouldn't take 5 attempts with a stuttery, stammery bitch, should it? It's not that serious.
It got a bit serious, though, there, Nathan. It got a bit serious because he's gone now.
Yeah, it's got a bit serious because he ignored me, fundamentally tried to undermine me and stuttered and stammered his way around a non-response. When you ask about direction, praying towards Mecca, and I say, yeah, the direction's flat though, I don't expect on the 4th time to lose my temper with you and have to remove you because you can't just say, yes, the direction I'm describing, regardless of what it is flat, like on a 2-dimensional compass. If you can't do that, I'll just kick you out. Because all you're here to do is to distract, divide, cause problems. Piss off. That's my attitude to twats like Edebe, who can't say, yeah, I understand that a compass is flat. They got to stutter and stammer their way around a non-response. Get lost. Yeah, you won't get to do that here, you dumbo. Can't you acknowledge that a compass is flat? Well, then get lost. You don't deserve to be here.
And that was all because
he can't say yes.
Go ahead, Neil. Go on. Sorry.
He can't say yes because then he's conceding, Nathan. He's only here to disrupt.
Yeah, I don't need him to concede. That's why I kicked him out. You're not needed, Edebe. Yeah, we don't need your acknowledgement. It's a courtesy I'm asking for because you're joining in the conversation. Until you don't, then you can get lost. But in terms of what I spit at my audience in this regard, a compass is flat. The directions on it are flat. We're talking about 2-dimensional directionality. This isn't questionable. This isn't up for debate. It's not like I need a non-response from a wanker 5 times. Just get lost. I'll reiterate the fact that a compass describes flat directionality. It's not up for discussion.
You know what gives it away? Is that when
Stuttering.
you hold a compass, you must level it to the plane of reference to get a direction. That's how you know it's with respect to that plane of reference. It's not hard.
But that's what we got to deal with.
Yeah.
We have to deal with irritating twats. You can't cope with the facts in this matter, need to stutter their way around the facts. There's no northeast on a globe. Yeah, as John just pointed out, you're levelling the tool to the plane of reference. What's that? You don't like it because you want to assert globe nature. No, there isn't a northeast on a globe. It's just a fact. There's no northern and southern hemispheres. That's incongruent with what north and south are. It's nonsense. Nonsense, waffle and doublespeak from idiots who believe they're on a sphere and therefore need to double talk their way around the facts. What are the facts? Directions are flat. That's just a fact. It's not that serious. We don't have to piss around with these wankers anymore. I'll just remove you if you can't cope with saying, yeah, I understand that a compass is flat. If you can't cope with that, get lost.
Yeah, you're making me laugh, Nathan, because you said it's not serious, but you got serious, and then you're not serious again. I love it. Your heart rate went up, boom, 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 and then back down, boom, 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 boom. Okay, right.
Yeah, the facts in the matter aren't that serious, Jin. That's what I'm saying. What a compass is and how a compass works isn't that serious. I mean, who cares, literally? Anybody who's been a Boy Scout or a Girl Guide knows how a compass works. My kids learn how to take elevation angle measurements, to utilise them with maps and compass measurements that are flat. They've learnt that in Rainbows and Brownies. That's what they've learnt. Now, did the Brownie Girl Guide teacher have to tell them, oh, well, you know, this isn't on a ball, but that's because blah, 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 blah. No. They just explained how the flat directionalities function if you're using a map. Now, that isn't that serious, is it? No disclaimers needed, no apologies needed. At all.
Absolutely correct there. Yes, in that situation, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. But with his silly little ass elder bear now, yeah, you had to explain everything, get it out, and you did. And then you gave him the chance. Are you going to say yes here? Because I responded to you directly. Oh, you're gone. Boom, that's it. There you are. So
yeah, they need to make it something.
Nathan, can I ask what?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, what was the symbol on the badge?
It's a little compass. It's like a little compass for the mapping thing that I got. I think I've got it behind me. I don't think I've got it sewn on yet. I'll see if I can grab it. It's a little compass, though.
Thank you. Sorry, John.
Oh, I was just going to say the serious part of Nathan came out when someone wanted to ignore what he said and carry on as if they had a point to make, as to make Nathan's statement of fact untrue in some way. That gets irritating. So that's when he gets serious.
That's the very first thing that I noticed in this show, 6 years ago or so, was that any time that you said something that was completely reasonable and correct and indisputable, they wouldn't let you have it. They won't let you have the simplest things, and that's where they fail. They fail at step one.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. That's serious. A serious wanker. Because he needs to undermine the facts in the matter. So he needs to make it about people, groups, religions, anything but the measurements. Yeah, then it gets serious after the 5 attempts I made to make him concede a simple, basic, not serious at all fact about how bleeding compass works. But you can't do it, yeah? You need to say, I don't think I need to be conceding this because then Earth's measured flat with a compass. Yeah, it is. It's just a fact. And you might not like that, but facts are facts.
Yeah. Yeah, so Elder Bear lives alive as a liar every day of the week because he can't accept the truth. Now, what kind of mental state of mind do you have to be in to live like that, ladies and gentlemen, that he cannot relinquish the globe at all, that he's going to lie for the rest of his life? What a desperate, sorry,
He pretends
silly
to
man.
be a flat earther. You know that, right?
Sorry?
Like a lot of the shills that seem to be coming out of the woodwork that want to decry the very simple, not too serious flat measurements that we're describing here on a daily basis now. There's quite a few pretend flat earthers out there who want to say, no, we can't use this very simplistic flat earth prerequisite measurement to say that Earth's flat. What will the globers say? Yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork. They're shills. The ones pretending to be flat earthers that don't like how flat Earth is measured and want to argue against how flat Earth is measured when it's simple, demonstrable fact. In this case, with a compass. You're going to tell me the thing's globe-shaped? No, obviously not. But they will brace against us and set us against each other in terms of what religious group we fall in, or what Discord server we fall in, or whether or not the measurements have gone through an algorithm to get them onto paper. That's what the shilly claim to be flat earthers are currently doing. Now, if you know for sure and without a doubt that Earth is measured flat, you'll notice it immediately. Like, aren't you supposed to be a flat earther? Why are you bracing against this simple axiomatic fact? Very shilly.
Yeah, that horizontal constant, ladies and gentlemen, that's the reality of where we are. Horizontally. Flat Earth. Measured and utilized flat. It always was. It's never been anything else but that. Yeah, thank you.
And if you want to try to describe a globe with it, you got to measure it flat first.
Yep.
That's what kills them.
I was ignorant when you first went through bunk and debunk and your conversion from a flat plane elevation angle measurement to your light in the kitchen to a conversion process that the ballers use to convert their flat plane measurements into sphericity for a globe Earth. You converted your kitchen into a spherical world. Now, I didn't fully get it at the time. I didn't understand the importance of how Earth being measured flat simultaneously translates into them, that's our opponents on the globe Earth believing side, requiring flat Earth elevation angle measurements to create a ball to believe in. Now, coincidentally, it's on screen now. You on a flat plane measuring elevation angles in the depiction to a satellite. Orbital mechanics. All of the prerequisites in terms of the measurements that are utilised to create sphericity are flat. I think there's actually a video that OneDeck provided about flights. Should we go through that?
Sure.
Yes, please. Thank you, OneDeck.
Yeah, he's good like that.
There you go.
And OneDeck.
Sorry, I was in and I've just had a lot of stuff going on, so I've missed most of the show.
Hey, can you all see that?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's a good start. First slide says straight and level. Learning to fly part 3. Straight and level flight. Please let this videographer, which is Air Safety Matters, know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots or indeed by the videographer themselves. So if you are in my live stream, you can probably see from the live stream chat that I've posted a link to this videographer. Now, this is a pretty old video. It was made 11 years ago, but it's had 58,000 views from a channel that's only got 2.7k subscribers. So not exactly a huge following. Still managed to garner 50,000 views with this particular video. So please let the videographer know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. This video has only had 15 comments. So I'm sure the videographer would be grateful that you, my audience, are toddling along, if I could say it, to his video to help him along in the algorithmic love that he, as any YouTuber, would like to receive. The idea behind this being that if this videographer was to see that I'd sent people to his video to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, that it'd do the same for me if he was to make a response video. Not him, but anybody that we're doing a video response to. My hope is that they would do the same for me and put a link to my video if they were to make a response. But for you, my audience right here, right now, please toddle along to Air Safety Matters and let them know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment. And I'm not just saying this from a health. I actually do hope that you will do this as an audience member right now. And that if you do go and say, hey, Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, by the time you've come back, you'll still hear me doing the exact same call to action, hence me doing it several times and saying over and over again, please let Air Safety Matters know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots. That is to say, don't swear at them or be passive aggressive in any way. Be as polite as you possibly can when you allude to the fact that we have covered their video today. Hopefully that's bought enough time for a few members of my audience. I'm not entirely sure how many people are actually watching currently. 77, 68. Oh, I can see the number dropping, so that means that people are disappearing to go and actually leave a comment, hopefully. So yeah, hopefully a few of you will actually leave a comment and people can see that on this show, which is 2445, I believe, today. No, 2446. Is that right? Whatever. That we've covered their video on today's show. Hopefully that's enough time to actually crack on.
Nathan,
Straight and level
when
flight.
was this video made?
In order to fly the aircraft straight, we first of all select a reference point towards which we'll fly.
Hello.
We keep the...
Go ahead.
When was this video made?
11 years ago.
Hopefully nothing's changed since then.
No, nothing will have changed in terms of how straight gets described, how level gets described. And as I said, it's not going to change tomorrow like it wasn't going to change yesterday.
The wings level with the horizon
It's game over. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Using aileron. We keep the aircraft in balance using the rudder. If the ball were to the right, right rudder will be required. Ball to the left, left rudder will be required to bring the ball back to the center. To fly the aircraft level, we need first of all to select the level flight power, combined with the correct level flight attitude.
Game over. Welcome to Flat Earth.
And that's the distance between the spinner and the horizon.
So, in other words, we're utilising the horizon in straight and level flight. Yeah, Earth's measured flat.
Now, as long as the power is set correctly, and the attitude is set correctly, and the aircraft is in trim, the aircraft will maintain level flight, which can be confirmed by reference with the altimeter.
Yeah, because it's measuring the height with respect to the surface level.
Okay, we're now going to look at straight level flight. Let's divide this into two. First of all, level flight. To fly the aircraft level, two requirements. First, the level flight power, correctly set. Second, the level flight attitude. You can see where the horizon is cutting through the windscreen. That's the position in this aircraft for level flight.
Again, Nathan, utilising the horizon, the surface of Earth, you know, the apparent horizon, but it is utilising the surface of Earth, and that's what you're using to remain, saying straight and level flight. You know what I mean?
So you don't even need pitch data.
Yeah, it's not serious.
There is no apparent horizon. There's only the horizon. The apparent is part of the definition.
Yeah, the apparent aspect is the apparent meeting of sky and ground. The sky never meets the ground. The sky doesn't touch the ground. But in terms of what you see in this view, the sky appears to meet the ground. That is the point that's being utilised in this description for straight and level flight. And notice there's no requirement for any pitch data. We're not utilising any algorithmic readouts on graphs. He's just describing the altitude, the attitude, the pitch with respect to the horizon, and straight and level flight. No apologies are required, no explanations are needed beyond what he is actually detailing. And what he is detailing, make no mistake, is Earth being measured flat for flight.
If I were to select slightly too low a nose attitude, you can see the horizon climbing in the windscreen, the nose pointing towards the ground, and we begin to lose height.
Height as in the elevation with respect to the surface level?
If I have slightly too high a nose attitude, the converse happens, the aircraft begins to climb. So,
in other words, if you deviate from the horizontal, you're either climbing or descending. So the two states are climbing with respect to a horizontal level measured with an altimeter off the surface level, or descending with respect to the horizontal with a declination in elevation with respect to the horizontal. So we're going to need horizontal then.
So that would be like saying, you have how much you pitch up and how much you pitch down from the horizon, the horizontal, will determine what the aircraft is doing. It's either going to, depending on your pitch, from the horizontal.
But does it matter that this isn't raw data? I mean, we are watching it on a video after all.
Has nothing to do with it. We're seeing what's happening.
But I mean, if I was a shill, I could suggest that we're just watching a video reproduction. This has gone through YouTube's compression.
Plus, as well, you can see on these small aircraft, and we've had a couple of these, they've got instrumentation in there, and he's referencing them, but they tend to, the instructors always say to the tutors, they want them to get their head not out of the plane, but they want them to use the horizon, the wings in reference to the horizon, the cockpit horizon, which you've just been through. So you're utilizing, your natural surroundings and what you can see to maintain straight and level flight.
But seriously though, this video has been through YouTube compression. So are you sure we can use this?
It's not raw. It's not raw, Nathan.
It isn't raw. That's correct, Neil. We're not actually looking at this altimeter, are we? It's on a TV screen through YouTube after compression. I mean, let's throw it all out.
I mean, it's funny though, I know you don't like talking about triangles, but I did comment on one of his videos. I think I posted it, must be, but it's not a major thing, but he was going on about flight. So I just threw a little comment in there to say to Dave, you mean a straight and level flight above sea level, don't you, Dave? And his response to me, we got into a little bit, he was claiming that you cannot maintain straight, I think he didn't say straight and level, you cannot maintain straight flight without a map.
That's called a non sequitur fallacy.
What's a dildo?
Yeah, so I pointed out to him very nicely that we've been through a lot of these videos, and the pilots are demonstrating that they're using the horizon, the parts of the aircraft to maintain straight and level flight. Straight flight, they usually pinpoint something out in the distance, and that's where they're going to maintain straight flight. And then the level flight, you're using the horizon and the wings and everything else. So I said, Dave, we've had professional pilot instructors on whether you've watched Nathan's show, we've been through this 2 or 3 times. So I put this one on specially for Dave to point out there's no map required to maintain straight and level flight whatsoever.
Oh, bless. That's really kind of you to address Dave's non sequitur fallacy.
Yeah, that's great. I love when they just completely non sequitur away from the point and try to chase some other ridiculous aspect of their religion. But sea level being part of the horizon is where we have our axiomatic tie to horizontal. That will never be broken, and that will never change. That is just a fact of how we experience the world. And we measure from that. There is no discussion to be had about whether the Earth's curving or not.
That's correct.
Well said.
Neither this attitude nor that too low a nose attitude is correct, because we know that at this power setting, that is the correct level flight attitude. All right, let's now talk about straight flight. To fly the aircraft straight, again, 2 requirements. The first one, to keep the wings level. It's no use having the wings like that, we'll turn. So we've got to keep the wings level to the horizon. And the second requirement...
Right, you've got to keep the wings level to the horizon. It's game over.
Oh dear.
Earth's measured flat.
is to keep the aircraft in balance. That little black ball needs to be kept central. Now to confirm that we're flying straight, select a reference point, and if you look ahead, I'll just lower the nose so you can see it, I've got a beautiful chimney in view. And as long as that chimney remains in my 12 o'clock position, I know that I'm flying straight. Further confirmed, of course, by looking at the directional gyro indicator to confirm that we are maintaining the heading we require.
Hang on a minute.
In a nutshell, that's flying straight and level.
Where's his map?
Oh, sorry. Did you want me to clarify that for Dave McKeegan? Dave, you're a moron using a non sequitur fallacy. Yeah, when describing straight and level flight, the map's got nothing to do with it, you crazy clown.
Can I just say this, McKeegan? The map you're looking for is the flat Earth that you're flying over. That's your map, okay? The actual Earth itself. Thank you.
Exactly, Jin, and that's what he's just explained. You're using the horizon, which John's just explained what that is. We all know what it is. It's referencing the surface of Earth. You're utilising that for straight and level flight.
Just on the note of his non sequitur, though, does Dave have the misapprehension that maps work with anything other than flat directionalities like north, south, east and west? I mean, we did cover this earlier with Edabear. Maybe Dave can stutter and stammer and lisp his way around the fact that all maps are going to be using a compass if they're any use. And that's a flat Earth prerequisite. Maybe you could address that. It's a direct rebuttal to your non sequitur, as opposed to an address to the flight and straight and level requirements that the flight's in. Nevertheless, your non sequitur with a map doesn't really help you much either, Dave, you dumbo. Maps are flat. They utilise a compass and flat directionality. Why would you be using that as a non sequitur, you bonehead?
It's only a short one, wasn't it? But
that was nice. No, I love it.
Straight to the point.
Squeezed in the hour. Perfect. Right, anybody got any comments before we do round out this live stream?
I was just going to say, what a fantastic live stream. It was great. That video was bang from the first seconds, opening seconds. It was game over for the globe. Well done, mate. Just a quick round of applause there quickly. Thank you very much.
Woo, woo, woo. Very good. I love that. I like these videos, and people are getting the hang of it now. I mean, not that you weren't initially, but, you know, there's a temptation to just continually respond to the Dave McKeegans. Now, we can incorporate them. I'm not against describing how they've utilised a non sequitur fallacy when responding to someone like One Deck in comments. That's fine. But I just don't necessarily want to cover their videos where we have to overcome their lies. Whereas when we actually deal with the normies, like this guy, he's not making any apologetics for how unball-shaped it is he? He's just describing how he flies the plane. There's no apologies needed. There's no explanations needed. It's not that serious. Earth's just being measured and flown over flat. That's just how it is. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Shut up.
That was perfect.
Yep.
The Earth is the map. Yeah.
That was spot on, because you're right. The Earth is the damn map. The Earth, the terrain.
Yeah. It's a good response to somebody making that non sequitur. It's a good response to them because it, brings them back to reality. But, the process of reification would be to claim that the map is the Earth.
Correct. Are we connected to Discord yet?
Yeah, well, I'll just quickly, so this is McKeegan. Oh, so you're dodging that you can't determine straight flight without an accurate map. Just like Papa Lighthouse conveniently dodges that you need an accurate map to determine your position with celestial navigation. And it's put, in the meantime, why don't you explain to everybody how you don't understand what sea level, mean sea level is? He's getting onto the mean sea level there. So I put, Dave, you may have watched the straight and level flight video we covered on FED. If not, I'll paste it here for you. It demonstrates how the pilot maintains straight and level flight using the wings, horizon, and objects in the distance. This was demonstrated on the video without the pilot using instruments inside the cockpit or the use of a map. Regarding sea level, mean sea level, it is the 0-degree baseline for measuring all elevation profiles on our Earth. It's level, it's not curved. And then... just to add regarding celestial navigation, in all instances, elevation angles are being measured, not curve measurements. Don't know what that was about, but yeah, so there you go.
I bet his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. And there's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti.
On the surface, he looks calm and ready.
Yeah, well, snap back to reality. Well, there goes gravity.
Yeah, the globe don't have mean sea level. They don't even have level.
That's correct. They don't even have level. There is no level on a sphere.
What globe? I'm asking what globe.
That mathematical one that they came up with that they want us all to plot GPs on that they screaming about in the chat.
It's all
GPs on a globe.
Who's that, Vaxie?
Yes. Good morning, guys.
Yeah, the geographical positions where they claim they mapped out stars to. But they don't tell us how we actually use the GPs for some reason. They think you travel to them somehow. And they asking us about locations of where the stars. Like, okay. Projection much.
Sorry, Red, go ahead.
I think what Reggie's saying is, you're not getting the GP. You're not getting the GP of the star and traveling to it.
You are at. Yes, but I was saying how they actually use GPs, or how everyone uses GPs, is to find the location of where you are at. So it's actually for the distance or your so-called radius of where you are at.
Yeah,
That's
I've
how
heard
we
that a
use
few
that.
times. People suggesting that you're acquiring the GP so you can travel to it, and it's like, no. The GP is a position below the star that you're going to use as a central point with a measured value for distance, so that you've got the radial value of a circle that you'll draw, because you're going to potentially draw 2 or 3 circles to find the intersection points to locate where you are.
Correct. I thought everybody knew that.
No, people think that you're traveling to the GP.
No. You're finding your GP. Just for the record, if wherever I am on Earth, if I'm facing north and I do an about face, what way would I be facing?
South.
East.
Okay. Is that on the recording? Thank you.
Just back to that, though. I mean, I'm just. You don't necessarily need any value of a distance during getting your 3 circles of equal altitude, do you? Or do you? I mean, once you've got that, you don't need to put a value, because obviously the value is a calculation after the elevation angle measurement, isn't it? Either 60 nautical miles or 69 nautical miles. Sure, you can still carry out that process and do 3 shoots and get the GP position and the distance, even though it hasn't. You could tell that. Sure, you can still find your point without putting a value to the radius and distance.
Well, the thing is, if you're wanting to calculate the height of a star, first you must establish whether that is definable or not. When we're utilizing celestial navigation, are the stars' heights ever defined?
No.
Right. No.
Never.
Are they needed? Is it needed to be defined or acquired?
No, it remains undefined. That's why they describe it as infinite, because infinite in this context means undefined. So it's a non sequitur branch for the height of stars.
Well, what they were saying to Vaxie, giving him a very hard time, was that once he says that there's an intersection point in free space, then he must know the height of the star.
Yeah, that's what Globers like to say.
The thing is, though, with the celestial navigation, you're not actually, like I said to you yesterday, you haven't got a solid pole, like coming from your eyesight up to a fixed physical point called the sun, and then another pole coming down from the zenith of that down to the ground. and then okay, you are using sea level. When you point these, hello, sorry, what was that?
Sasha, you're hot micing. That's Sasha. I think he's hot micing.
Yeah. So, but when you're describing the celestial elongation and you're demonstrating someone's line of sight to the sun, yeah, it's just a line of sight. It's not a physical edge of a triangle, is it? And the zenith from the sun to the ground, GP, and then from the GP back to the observer, that can be physical if you're using sea level. But the other two are sort of imaginary lines, aren't they? But when you're pointing it out, you can draw lines to them and call it a triangle, like Tenth explained. The terminology is used. I'm not saying it's an actual bleeding triangle.
Well, they're not physical. They are very much part of the calculation. When you're saying that you're minusing from 90 and timesing by 60, that's very specifically performing that function with the triangle, being a right angle triangle. You're minusing it from 90 to give you the co-altitude. When you're timesing it by 60 is to give you the distance along the ground, and you're minusing what from that measurement of the angle to the light. So no, the line up to the star or sun in the measurement isn't physical, and no, the line down to the GP from the sun or star isn't physical, but they're very much part of the calculation that you'll then utilize the measurement with.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's all 100% conceptual, but you need to do that in order, like what Nathan just said, minus it by 90, times it by 60 to get your zenith distance on the ground. No one ever said magic bullets are shooting out of your sextant and then attaching to the star and dropping a line down to the ground. Like, that's retarded.
It's conceptual in that is how we will describe it. But it is very much a measurement, and so it is in reference to reality.
Correct, but they were even going as far as to say it's not a triangle.
Sorry, go ahead, Neil.
No, I just wanted. They were saying when they first came in that it's not a right angle triangle is not a triangle. I mean, they finally did concede that it was a triangle, but a conceptual triangle. Go figure.
Yeah, except 3 hours later in the after show, he about faced when I asked him that same question again, said it's not a triangle, so fuck him.
Yeah, that's true. They did do that. And then when Vaxie was like pointing that, but if I'm directly north and I make an about face, I'll be facing south. That was even contested. Like, I really don't know what's going on in Flat Earth these days.
Dude, I could tell them my car is silver, and they'll argue with me that it's not. It doesn't matter. It's just because their words leaving my lips. That's all it is. Regardless of what I say, will be contested with. It doesn't matter. It is what it is.
Well, yeah, but they contested with Nathan right in the beginning, too. But Nathan had to say to Jedi, no, it absolutely is a triangle. A right angle is a right angle triangle.
We're talking about elevation angles, right?
Yes.
In a way it's being measured, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it even says in their own math that the line of sight and the horizontal baseline, they are imaginary lines because you don't know the physical location to the celestial bodies. They are infinite because they don't know. But that doesn't mean that you cannot take angle measurements. I mean, because the whole thing is based in physical, you're trying to get the physical distance from, or the physical radius that they're calling it, from these GPs that they have plotted in the almanac. But what they have done is took those horizontal physical distances, which is measurements from the observers from to the GP, the geographical positions that they're plotted out being at these stars, right? They have took those and wrapped it around their model. And that's why they're basically trying to make these little silly claims by saying, oh, it's not right angle triangles. They're actually using a model, or they're using a mathematical model. Which is true. There, they are using a model, but the model comes from the measurement and to begin with. Whenever they practically have to do it in the real world, they have to use flat Earth measurements and reference points in order for it to work.
You are almost 100% correct. The only thing you got wrong was when you said that they use those measurements to put you on a ball. Well, no, the only one word that was wrong was in as opposed to on. So when they wrap the protractor view around you and call that the globe, the measurement of the elevation angle itself can only be described from within the ball at a position that we would fondly describe as hell. You can't convert the sphericity into the measurement process as you described it when you said, well, you wrap it around you. That puts you inside the ball, not on the ball.
Right. Yeah. In the, they replicate from the center.
Well, like,
yes.
They're putting you on the protractor.
No, they're not putting you on the protractor. That's my point. So everything Reg said was correct, except putting you on the protractor. No. You're on the equatorial plane inside the globe, and the globe is the protractor. Therefore, you're in the globe for it to function with flat Earth elevation angle measurements. You're never on it, always in it.
Oh, I was more thinking like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Just to say though, I mean, obviously, just for a second, all this triangulation, we spoke about this 2 years ago. Now, I mean, I can understand what Jedi was saying. He wants to be precise and accurate, but every time I've come across this with a baller, and I'm talking about that, and this comes up about the height of the star, I'll just deal with that at the time and saying, we ain't doing triangulation, and the height of the star has got nothing to do with celestial navigation. We're not interested in that, and that's what I tell them. I don't have to start going too deep into this situation.
Yeah, the moment
I don't think so. He's not being precise and accurate. He's being the exact opposite of that. Sorry.
I was just going to say, the moment that you try to utilize the height of a star, you are defining its height, and it is no longer usable for celestial navigation. So they're trying to take the conversation away from measurement.
That's correct, yeah. Because we spoke about raising an altitude, didn't we? And the angle always remaining the same. That's what happens there. So yeah, it wouldn't work if that was a fixed physical object. You wouldn't be able to do what these people are doing, and it wouldn't be celestial navigation. It wouldn't work.
Right. And if you're denying that the hypotenuse intersects the opposite, then that means you're denying the ground position.
Exactly. They need to take it to the stars so it's not relevant to the surface, even though what we're doing is directly connected to the surface. The ground position beneath the star is a physical location on the ground. The measurement for the angle, utilising surface level as part of the angle, is a surface level angle measurement. So we are genuinely dealing with the surface that we're going to be navigating for a surface position called a GP. And we're measuring the angle to acquire it.
I mean, I can understand when we have these arguments, or this comes up with speaking to an anti-flat earther or a baller. The problem is you've got, and I can understand flat earthers wanting to be hypersensitive, but like I've just explained, and John's just explained, it doesn't work like that. We don't have to be discussing about this triangle, and a flat earth, talking to a flat earther about this. They should just agree, yeah, it's nothing to do with the light in the sky, obviously. It's celestial navigation. It's not triangulation. You don't have to get really, I mean, it's obvious. We can just discuss that matter, and we're not saying anything incorrectly. I don't know why flat earthers are getting into this too much.
I don't know. It's weird. And I don't know how to say this. I'm not trying.
Because it ends the argument. That's why.
Yeah.
It ends the argument.
Yeah.
You got
a point there, Reg. Yeah. Sorry, mate, go on.
God, Reg, make your point.
My bad. Because it ends the argument. It is basically, what do globes have? Do they have physical proof? No, they have a mathematical inference, indirect reasoning. Versus flat Earth, what do we have? We have the physical measurements. All things that is measured flat The way that we travel is horizontal, which basically referencing up the planes or driving, basically flat. Elevations, globes can't have elevations because you can only have elevations on flat Earths. All practical uses is basically flat Earth. So it's basically a mathematical model, which is only a concept because mathematical models are supposed to describe things that you observe in reality. But without the observation, it's only just a model. Models can't prove a model. And what flat Earths have is basically things that we observe and experience in reality. And the way that we actually measure is the things that it's observations that we observe in reality. So therefore, it must be flat, because models cannot overcome what you observe in reality. So if it's already a contradiction, it throws it right out. So anybody that contests against it, they just want the argument to continue.
I mean, it could be a big roast chicken, mate.
Hold on a minute. Model
could be 100 Home Depots.
Yeah, John.
Model is being used loosely there. It isn't a mathematical model. It's the misunderstanding and misapplication of mathematics to create a model that you're within. That is not the model that they have, or they say they have.
Just want to make a short speech. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, flat earthers, globers, my fellow human beings. It has come to my attention that there are a lot of people out there believing in a globe that does not exist. So we, the flat earthers, choose to teach you about the flat earth. We choose to teach you about the flat earth. We choose to teach you about the flat earth and the other thing, not because it's easy, but because you are confused and delusional. And that goal will go a long way to prove which one of us is confused and lost. So in the final analysis, ask not why the earth is flat and level, but why it is you cannot find your curvature. Thank you very much.
Right. With that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.